All right, kids, welcome. We're going to be talking about the IPO model, and what I'm going to do is really just break down how the IPO model works and what you should know how to do it. The IPO model is basically you planning out how to turn a problem into a solution by first writing it down in English of what you want to do, then translating that to code later on. So this is called like the design process of a problem where you're designing a solution and you're just going to break down what you need to do. And IPO model really breaks it down into three distinct portions called input, processing, and output. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're given this problem. Our given problem is given the width and the height of the rectangle. We need to calculate the perimeter. Okay, given this problem, what you want to do is break down into input, processing, output, and you really just want to think about what you need to do in each of these sections so that we can create a program that can handle any types of width and height so that we can calculate the perimeter of the said rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to go to the output first because that's really going to be the easiest part. We can say output the perimeter of the calculated uh, uh, we can say output the calculated perimeter of the rectangle. Okay. So that's our end goal. In our output section, we want to do this. So we can even say that use system.out.println to output the perimeter, right? You can get very direct and you just want to write all in English, like little jot notes of what you want the output to be. So I'm going to put little jot notes here, like that. Okay. Now we're going to go into our input. I'm going to be very direct with my input and we're going to be doing like this. So we can say that we need two input variables, width and height. We should read these variable values as strings, then convert to double. Basically, you are writing out what should be going inside your head and you're just planning out what your code should be. Okay. And that's what we do with the IPO. Okay. Then we're going to have to do some conversions and read these values as strings and so forth. And then in processing, we can say that to calculate the perimeter, when given the width and height, you can put a formula down. You can say that P is equal to 2 times the W plus 2 times height. And that's your formula to calculate perimeter for the rectangle. And you can just do that calculation. Okay. And sometimes you can have like other info, right? We can say that for input, we need scanner. So on test, if I were to ask you to design an IPO model, this was what I'll be looking for in terms of I'll give you a simplistic problem and I need you to design all the solutions and think about what we would need for our input. What do you need to do for the processing and what should the output result be? And that's what you're trying to look for and design by using an IPO model. And the reason why we use this is because it's going to break down like larger problems into little sub problems that you have to do. For example, like you need to code the input section. After your input section is done, you can code the processing section. After that section is done, you can code the output section. So it's making this like very large problem into smaller chunks that you can work on. And then once you have every single requirements done, you should have a fully solved problem or program that solves the given problem. Okay, so let's actually code this. So we need to have scanner. So we're going to say import java.util.scanner, semicolon. And since we're using a scanner, I'm just going to write right underneath scanner as C is equal to new scanner with system.in. Boom. Right, we have taken that care of that. So we need two input variables, the width and height, and they're going to be strings. Right, so we can say string width. It's going to be, let's see, next line. And then we need height as well. Okay. All right. And then we need to do a double conversion, which is a second requirement. So we're going to say double of W is equal to double parse double of width. And then we're going to do the same thing for height, which is going to be H. Okay. And then in our processing section, we need to calculate the perimeter, and we're given this. So we can say that we can create a variable called double perimeter. And then we can say that it is equal to 2 times our W added by 2 times the height. And then Java's going to do bedmass for us. So it's going to calculate all that. And inside our output, we can output system.println. The perimeter is a little plus sign here, perimeter, and do a colon, semicolon to end it all off. And then we can run our code. Perimeter, perimeter. Run that code again. Okay, we're going to give it a value of 2 for our width and 3 for our height, and we get a perimeter of 10 because 2 times 2 is 4 and 3 times 2 is 6. Add it all up together and you get 10 units. Perfect. And that is a nice simplistic example of how you should break down what the input should be, what the processing should be, what the output should be in English before you convert it all into code. This is you listing down all the requirements for a program so that you can translate it easily. Okay. Anyways, thank you for watching and stay classy.